What is going on, fire signs? This is your girl Venus Archangel here with another daily love reading for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're unsure of your placements, go ahead and check the description box below. Also, guys, please remember that these readings may not resonate with everybody, and that's totally fine. Now, with all that said, let's go see what's going on in your love life, fire signs. Ooh, the Hangman. Somebody is taking a step back to look at their situation. Looking at how they feel about it as well. They feel like they're looking within to find their inner courage, their inner strength. In a way, not necessarily inner strength, but more so like, you know, to find the answers that they can only answer. The person that they can answer for themselves, right? I hope that makes sense. Like when you have a situation that come up, right? It's like, well, how can I get through this? You can only answer that answer, or you can only answer that question rather. Now, the moon. Okay, the King of Cups. Now, the relationship is in the middle here, but you guys have to pick either side here that resonates with you the most. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, looking at the situation a little closely, we do have the Ten of Wands, right? We're looking at it like, okay, there's a burden here. There's a burden in the relationship. Both people are feeling this. Now, it all depends on, you know, what is planned to be done about it, right? What's going to be done about this whole, you know, situation regarding this burden. Now, one person feels super emotional about it, while the other is potentially feeling a little more confused than they ever have been, right, in this relationship. And it is what it is for the time being, but at the same time, I feel like they're going through and they're walking and they're like, I don't know how I feel about this. It's about gaining some sort of clarity, but they can't necessarily. As honest as God, it looks like they're just like stuck because they don't know where to go. They don't know where to see. The moon can only illuminate so much, and it truly relies on them following their intuition. I feel like that's what the Hermit was coming up for. Okay, they have to follow their intuition, trust themselves. The King of Cups, however, this person is already very intuitive. I feel like they're also very patient, but they're very much in love. And despite the relationship coming up as the Ten of Wands, I feel like they're still in love with the individual that they're attached to, or this person that's attached to this relationship as well. Like, it doesn't matter how much the burden is, like, they are still in love with this person. It could be that this person is also, you know, is also thinking about their ideal partner. Okay, let's take a look at the internal energies to get a better idea what's happening here. Fire signs, fire signs. Part of this is not even the moon's fault, okay? And there's no blaming here. I don't blame people. It's like, it is what it is, right? We do what we can with what we know. And I feel like this individual is feeling, you know, not only confused, but they can't even see where to go. Like, they don't even, it's almost like they're really paralyzed by the darkness. They don't even know where to go. They're like, I don't trust sticking my foot out there, right? But that's in their head, right? It's all about going with the flow, allowing the higher self to help guide you at this moment. And if you don't trust your higher self, then you gotta figure out what's going on. And the Hierophant. Yeah, the Ten of Wands. But there's a commitment attached to it. There's something that's like both parties are somewhat committed to this connection. Like, they have some sort of attachment to it, something that they kind of conform to, something that they are, you know, that they have routines with. Like, it's familiar. That's one of the things that's true. It's familiar. They have practices. They have things that they do within the relationship that provides them with some sort of stability or structure. But internally, I feel like everybody has to come from their own structure. I feel like the structure was created in the connection for each individual person, but now that it's a burden, I think everybody's kind of struggling to figure out, what is my structure? What is my religion? What is my connection to self? And I feel like this person is getting like the brunt of it a little bit. They're having a hard time adjusting to it because, one, it's a scary territory. They're vulnerable. They're out by themselves. They're not really, you know, they're having to walk through the nighttime by themselves. Like, there's nobody there to help them other than them higher selves. Their self is where they need to be finding and gaining their strength. But instead they have the Eight of Swords coming up, where they kind of like don't see ahead of them, which who can? The moon is like super dark. And then at the same time, they just don't believe that making the step forward, that they don't believe that there is a path ahead of them that's not, that's not entrapping them. They're trapped in their thoughts here. This person is very much trapped in their thoughts. And I do feel like if they feel like they're unable to do, they're unable to do anything, but that is the absolute opposite. They can do something. Follow their intuition. Trust themselves. It's going to be hard though, right? Because they're doing something that's probably changing their structure, changing what's familiar, changing their beliefs, the dynamic of getting things done. But I feel like at the end of the day, it will definitely empower them, like the Hermit indicated before when he fell out in my hand. Now with this individual here, like they are already very intuitive. I think this has a lot to do with their ideal partner though, because you see the Five of Pentacles is coming up with their internal energy, right? So this is looking at what's lacking. This person has a very lack mentality right now. And it is what it is, right? Like they have some things that come up that they feel like they wish they had more of. Like this person may be very much in love. It's a very nurturing and loving and open energy. Going through, trusting their intuition is a thing that's like a given. They're like that. Like trusting my intuition is like no problem. But at the same time, they have this Five of Pentacles situation where they also feel kind of, they feel like there's something's lacking. Something's like they feel left out in the cold here. Okay, it doesn't have the relationship is coming up as the Ten of Wands though. But let me see here. Let's take a look at the external energies, see what else we could get from this, and then we'll go ahead and see what the whole reading is trying to say. Page of Cups. They don't even see that there's a cup of love in front of them. How could they? The moon. It's confusing. They're not there. It's dark. You can't see stuff. Ace of Cups. And the external energies. The Page of Swords. Communication and all that goodness. Family. We got some stuff going on here. Okay. The Empress is underneath the deck. Now, this person here has the big message that I've already said before. It's just pretty much trusting themselves, knowing that they can get through it, and know it looks dark, it looks a little scary. And one of the things that's totally uncertain about the moon is that you don't know what's to come, you don't know what to see, you don't know what to expect. But you have everything that you need in the moment. The Magician is the first card of the tarot. Technically the Fool, but the Fool is 0, and number 1 is the Magician. You have everything from the very beginning. There's nothing that you're incapable of doing. If there's anything that you want to do, you have everything. You have all the tools. You have especially the conductor to get it, make it happen. And I feel like this person has just to trust themselves. One of the things that they have to do is trust themselves. But the other person on the other side, however, they're feeling, I feel like they have a lot of lack. They have a dream. They have some sort of idea of what their partner should look like, and they're lacking in that. They feel left out in the cold because they're not getting this dream. This dream is not happening. As a matter of fact, it turns out that they're dealing with more of a Ten of Wands energy. Like they're carrying some things that they're just like too heavy. But at the same time, like it's honestly, this relationship's honestly come up to be work for both persons, in my opinion. Like it's come up to be more work. But at the same time, the Five of Pentacles, right? There's a church there, right? Now I know it's not in this image; it's the Shadowscapes Tarot, and they've done something different. But there's typically a church where the two people that are homeless and hungry and it's cold in the winter, they can go in and get some refuge. But they are not working with what they have. They're willing to go ahead and struggle and push through to the end. So there's a bit of a struggle here regarding themselves, right? There's lack in themselves. This King of Cups is a lack of themselves, but the external from them is the Ace of Cups, which is new love, new beginnings, and emotional healing. Now, this King of Cups is a healer. The person perhaps needs to heal the emptiness that they've got within themselves. And they've got everything they need, very similar to the person over here. They've got everything they need to heal it. It's just taking that cup and going with it. They potentially feel left out on the cold. But the thing here is, I mean, it could have been that there was some sort of communication that was harsh, things that were said, not easily taken, hard to swallow. But it is, it's truth. A child will never lie to you, ever. So what I do see is that there is some things that this person perhaps needs courage in too. Trusting in themselves too, to heal, to love on themselves. Because no one's going to love them better than they're going to love themselves. Okay? But the thing here is that they have to believe that they deserve that love. To begin that process of healing. To begin filling that cup up with love. And I feel like it's kind of like a constant routine to kind of like be in situations where it's not like exactly what you want or exactly what they want, right? This King of Cups energy. It's always like exactly what they want. They're burdenous within the commitment. It's a burdening commitment. Why? Because it's not what they want. It's a burdening commitment for this person too. Why? Because they don't see what they don't see what they want to see, which is what they want too, right? But at the same time, it's going to require for each person to kind of be open to loving themselves and taking their own path. It's very interesting how they have very similar energies coming up, both very intense, right? And then this is very logical, yes, and this is very practical, but this is all stemming out of beginning. Maybe small for this person, right? It still indicates a beginning to me somehow. Sometimes, something small, nothing huge, nothing as big as the Ace of Cups, but some sort of small gesture. And it's also what someone wants, right? Someone's desire. It's a nurturing someone's desire. It could be healing as well. But it all stems from communication. It all stems from looking within the self, being honest with the self, not necessarily looking to communicate that with both parties. I feel like yes, it's important to talk about what each person is wanting out of this connection. But you don't have to walk blind and feel blind. You could walk blind and feel in control. It's a very interesting thing to kind of get that, an interesting thing to say, right? Kind of like, how can you be blind but feel in control? Structure, boundaries, routine. At least if it needs to change, it needs to change. It's the ending of a cycle anyway. So it's like what needs to give, what needs to go, what needs to be, what needs to be put down, what burden needs to be put down for there to be truly some happiness built between the both of these people. It can't just be commitment and structure and familiarity that keeps these two together. It has to be it has to resonate for both parties about how they feel, regarding how they feel. All right, fire signs, this has been your reading for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys later. Bye now.